Hey guys, it's me Carly coming at you with another video. And today's video topic is going to be about Black Siren and Felicity and the hypocrisies surrounding Black Siren and why I'm kind of checking out of the Flash. But first, let's talk about why I'm checking out of the Flash. Flash seasons 1 and 2 were probably its strongest seasons. Season 3, I didn't think Savitar was like the worst villain, but they dragged the Savitar shit for way too long. It was way too rushed, and we didn't get enough of Savitar / Baratar. And and season 3 was the moment my dislike for Caitlyn started to go up, because I didn't dislike her before, but I started to in season 3. But season 4, I went from she's got potential to I don't care about this character. I hate this character. This character is the worst written character. And no, I'm not just saying that because I hate her. I'm not saying that out of bias, but Caitlyn Snow was had potential, but all she was a love interest for 3 seasons in a row, and all of her boyfriends died. So her storylines are boring. Plus, I think Danielle is the weakest actress on the show. That's just my opinion. And I just wish she'd go away permanently. So, and they made me watch Iris get stabbed a bunch of times, and I'm like, this ain't okay. Season 4 was okay. DeVoe was kind of a villain. He wanted to wipe out everyone's brain, and I don't ever feel like these villains don't ever feel like Barry's villains anymore. They feel like the Citizens' villains, or they feel like villains that are just there for the sake of the character having a villain. It's I never feel like these are Barry's villains anymore. Iris has no female friends and we have no black writers in the writing room. No black female writers. And the interracial relationship of the show is never touched upon in the way that it should be. And I'm not saying, like I've said before, it doesn't have to be about race all the time. But when you are in an interracial relationship, race is going to come up. It's going to be a topic of conversation. It's not just going to be 2 white people, 2 black people. I mean, race can be a topic of conversation, but it's going to be more of a conversation if you're in an interracial relationship as well. Now, season 4 was kind of, it was just okay. But season 5, I thought it was going to be really good. I was looking forward to it because of Nora. But the first few, I forget that Nora is supposed to be, this version of Nora that we're seeing now is supposed to be this, around the same age as her parents, but she behaves like she's 16, like a rebellious 16-year-old. And I get she wants to see her dad, but I don't feel like we're getting enough of her backstory. We're not getting enough of how did she come to work with Eobard Thawne. She didn't just go hunt him out and be like, yo, Eobard, come show me my past. And how much Nora, I love Nora. I love you, Jessica Parker Kennedy, but Nora is not a well-written character to me because she's whiny and sassy. She behaves like a freaking teenager. She finally did apologize to her mom, which is something I have waited for. But she just is not. I feel like it would have worked better if you'd casted a teenager to play Nora, or made Nora a teenager. Then some of her whiny angstiness wouldn't be so irritating or annoying. it's just, it doesn't feel like, I forget that she's old. Like, or not old. I forget that she's her parents' age at times just because of how she behaves. She's like supposed to be in her early 30s, and also doesn't help, I know, the fact that Jessica Parker Kennedy is actually older than Grant and Candace, but she doesn't look it, and she actually does look like their daughter from the future, so I thought that was pretty cool. Kind of like how Jennifer Morrison is older than is like a year younger than Jennifer Goodwin, and like 3 years older than Josh Dallas from Once Upon a Time. But I thought that was perfect casting. And Jessica Parker Kennedy is like, they nailed the casting with that. But like, how the heck do you behave like a teenager and you're like in your 30s already? And how did she even, I want to know how she came to know Eobard Thawne. Why is Eobard Thawne still wearing Harry's face? Is he like a time remnant? Or is he like a, what is he? Because he's been erased like 3 times. Or did he go to another Earth? Like on Earth X, he stole Harrison Wells' Earth X body because handsome, as he'd say. And also, I hate saying this, but I don't know if it's just me, but Tom Cavanaugh is not as good of an actor as he used to be. He's not as good as a performer. He's just, I don't know. He's just not that good of an actor to me anymore. But if he's given good material to work with, he's a good actor. I'm not saying he's a bad actor. I'm saying he's a good actor, but the material they give him to work with is shit. And I don't know if it's Tom, like, putting in the performances and he's just like, okay, I'm doing this again for like the umpteenth zillion times, and he's feeling like us people who are annoyed with the Wells characters, or if he's really into it, because I don't know if it's just me, but does anyone else feel like Tom is really not into the character anymore, and he's just as tired of the character as we are, of the different iterations of the character? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. They have no idea what to do with Cisco, because he goes from being afraid of his powers to wanting to help people. He builds his own technology, his vibe gloves, the glasses. Well, Harry tinkered with those. He's like one of the most powerful metahumans. I don't want my powers. I want the cure. I want to settle down and have a wife. And I'm just like, dude, weren't you just like working on your own costume so you can be a hero? You're not utilizing him properly. Like, he's being Cisco. To me, I love Cisco. Carlos Valdez. I hope that movie you're doing with Melissa Benoist, there's so many Melissa actresses, does well, because I feel like Carlos is one of the most talented actors on the show. He's very underrated. He's a great actor, but they're not utilizing him, and they're wasting his acting talent. And I don't know why. I don't know what he's supposed to be doing on this show, because he's the engineer, but you keep bringing in characters that have the same job as each other. Like, you could replace Caitlin with a medical dictionary and a cold gun, and you'd be fine without her. And then, or replace her with Jessie, but people are going to be like, but Carly, she's a scientist. She's a doctor. I'm like, no, bitch. She is a Mary Sue character. And the other thing, to me, Cisco is playing a glorified babysitter to boring-ass white characters like Ralph and Caitlin and any other Wells character. because Cisco spends like 2 episodes drunk over his breakup with Cynthia. And I'm just like, why? I'm like, Cisco is much better than that. And Cisco, like, should have taken the Breacher job or something. Or give Cisco his own show. If anyone deserves his own show, it would be Cisco. Because then we'd have the first Latina Hispanic superhero of the DC in live action. But I do see potential with this Camilla person, who I heard is a photographer. Please go work at CCC, Central City Citizens, with Iris, because, Iris needs some girlfriends on the show. She needs female friends. She needs friends outside of Barry, and she needs, like, to make friends in the reporting room. Because, I don't know. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, I'm going back to work just because. I'm like, I thought you were already a reporter, because these storylines in season 5, they're sloppily developed. They're not well written at all. Iris is consistently written. But it's like they don't have a clear direction of where they're wanting to go with these characters. And now, the one thing that really confuses me, and it's not going to surprise you, is Caitlin Snow's character. Is Caitlin Snow / Killer Frost. First, in season 3, she got her powers post-Flashpoint. After Flashpoint happened, because she didn't have powers pre-Flashpoint, she knew about them. She was learning to control them. She was afraid of them because of what she saw Earth 2 Killer Frost was like. And then she did everything in her power to get rid of her superpowers. She had power dampening cuffs. She had a power dampening necklace, which she hardly wore. And when it came time to use her powers, she was like, in the 2 emergency situations, which called for her using her powers to save someone else's life, she's like, I don't know, it's too dangerous. And, like, I can't, even if I wanted to. When Iris was about to disintegrate in his hand, Barry's being choked by an invisible force, and she's like, I can't, it's too dangerous. And Iris is about to become a pile of sand, and she's like, I can't, even if I wanted to. I'm like, girl, you're like the only option to save Iris. And everyone's like, aren't they just selfish of asking Caitlin that? I'm like, no. Someone's life was in danger, and her fear should be pushed aside so she could save someone's life. And that was that should have been my first indication that she's not really the hero type. She's always the first one to leave the team, and she's always the one having to be begged to do stuff. And the other thing that annoys me is that she, like, has no problem working with a human trafficker. And she goes, and then when she becomes full-blown Killer Frost, she's the same her and Killer Frost and Caitlin Snow are the same people when she's trying to kill Iris. And they were the same people when she went on a freaking rampage throughout the city to try and get rid of her powers. And she, like, kidnapped Julian, almost frostbit his fingers off. But we're just gonna brush past that. She kidnapped Cecile. We're just gonna brush past that. She's part of the reason that H.R. Wells is 6 feet under. But we're just gonna brush past that. And then we're gonna go work for a human trafficker for no reason other than to get rid of powers. But the only way we can do that for things that I want is to use technology to dampen my powers, but let my powers out when Amunet needs muscle. And then I find out a few months later that my powers were of a placebo effect. Were nothing but a placebo. I was like, what? And she still agreed to work with Amunet because Amunet did one nice thing for her. Like, you saw what Amunet did to Weeper. Ew, gross. Sorry, guys, I'm spitting a lot. You saw what Amunet did to Weeper. You saw what she was kicking him, she was starving him, she had him chained up, and you're just like, oh, what the hell is this? And you didn't even have the slightest bit of concern on your face. And then, in season 5, it's all of a sudden, we're all buddy-buddy. I have people who love me and care about me. And I'm just like, so her actions in season 3 and season 4 don't matter? There's no consequences. They've retconned her story a shit ton of times, and I'm gonna be petty because I'm very petty when it comes to this. I'm so glad that the Caitlyn-centered episodes tank. That, like, makes me super happy. They don't do well critically. She can't even trend unless she's standing next to Barry. And it's like, I would never Caitlyn to kill her because apparently they can communicate in their brains now. And Caitlyn is like, Killer Frost, you know I'd never take that cure. You're a part of me that I never want to lose. And I'm just like... So, in season 3 and 4, you went on a whole-ass rampage to try and get rid of your powers. You even mutilated people to try and get... And got... You agreed to be muscle for a human trafficker, but yet you're now all of a sudden you're besties with Killer Frost? And now you're back to using your powers without your hair turning white when you were healing Cisco's hand. And by the way, why can't those shards of glass be removed right away from Cisco's hands? Or shards of the dagger or whatever. And it's just like, there's so many plot holes in this story. I don't get it. And I know my hair kind of looks gray right now, but it's not. It's like just really frizzy. But I just don't get it at all. And again, what redemption arc does Caitlyn have? Because there's no redemption. There's not an apology like, hey, Iris, I'm sorry I helped try and kill you. I hope one day, I don't expect you to forgive me, but I want to show you that I've changed, and I hope you're willing to give me a second chance. Something like that. Because Black Siren / Laurel apologized to Tina for killing Vinny, which leads me into my next topic. Sorry, I didn't mean to make this Flash topic way too long. As people are like, Black Siren can't be redeemed because she worked with the villain who killed William's mother. Okay, yeah, she did. That was horrible. She's worked with several other villains. And let's not forget the fact that this is a show where Oliver went on a killing spree because he had a whole-ass kill list in season 1. And then he promised Tommy that he would not kill anymore. But now I go back and forth on my no-kill rule. And then... Okay, pretend this giraffe is a person. And then Oliver goes like this. Well, okay, well, you get the idea. He goes like this, holds a person under his armpit like this, and he goes on their neck. And even Thea, in season 5, he did that. And Thea's like, what the hell, Ollie? It's like, I saw you break that guy's neck. And yes, I know Oliver was being hit, but wasn't there like another option to like knock him out, or to just, I don't know. Like, Oliver has killed people when literally there could have been other options. Sometimes I wouldn't mind if he adapted the kill or be killed rule, but he just is a hypocrite. And Arrow is all about second chances. I mean, you give Oliver, a man who serial cheated on his girlfriend, even with her sister, and then got back with said sister when she got back into Starling City, and then they rubbed it in Laurel's face. You give him a second chance. You give, like, Felicity several second. Well, okay, we're very harsh. As a fandom, we're very harsh on Felicity. Felicity, like, nuked the city and barely felt remorse. And then Felicity went and worked for a cyber terrorist organization. She's committed a bunch of crimes. Tina went on a killing spree because she thought Vinny was dead. And then she went after Siren. Okay, well, I wouldn't blame her for that. But still. And then, what else did you do? Like, you have all these people committing horrible crimes. You have Quentin working with Damien Dark. Okay, I know that was kind of a tricky situation, but, like, everyone's deserving of a second chance. See, the difference between Black Siren or the real Black Canary / Black Siren, Dinah, Laurel Lance, and Caitlin Snow, is that Dinah, Laurel Lance, is trying to be a better person. She is working hard to be a better person. She's making the right decisions now. She's not expecting anyone to forgive her or believe her. She actually gave an apology, unlike Caitlin, for the damage she caused Tina. And I refuse to call her Dinah still. But Caitlin just gets a bunch of retcons, is welcomed back on the team, and is just a good person again. Without ever having to face consequences for her actions, which trafficking people and mutilating people and cutting off their body parts is not a small offense. Kidnapping people is not a small offense. What else is not a small offense? Kidnapping people. Oh, yeah, and did I mention trafficking people is not a small offense? Like, and trying to have someone killed. Working with someone's murderer is not a small offense. Being an accessory to murder is not a small offense. Like, nothing happens. Nothing comes out of it except Caitlin looks really terrible as a character. She's a horrible character. And she's a bitch. And I don't just mean, like, oh, she's, like, Iris is a bitch, but, like, Iris is a bad bitch. Like, she's the baddest bitch there ever lived, as Candace Patton would say. And when I say Iris is a bitch, I mean, like, she's a badass. She's, like, that bitch who will go above and beyond. But Caitlin is just a bitch. Like, Caitlin is a bitch who just is so selfish. She is just the most selfish person on the show. And I'm not just saying that. Like, she is literally the most selfish person on the show. And it's like everyone on Arrow gets to come back to life. Everyone on Arrow gets a second chance. Unless your name is Dinah Laurel Lance. Then you're like the deadest dead girl in town. In Dead Town. And you're just not good anymore. Or you don't get a second chance because you killed people, even though Oliver kills people, and, like, everyone on the show has killed people and has worked with villains, and Oliver worked with Malcolm Merlin, even though Laurel was really upset, and he just gaslit the hell out of Laurel when she was still alive, Earth One Laurel, and he was just terrible to her. Calm down. Anyways, those are my thoughts on Flash and Arrow. I didn't expect this video to be super long. But if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Leave suggestions, and have a good one.